Alright, let's just get into this hot pile of garbage that I wasted $40 on. So we meet Jill, who's recovering from this crazy mansion party that she went to a few weeks ago. They must have had some crazy stuff in there because Jill keeps hallucinating about committing some Persona 3, if you know what I mean. So one night, Jill's just chilling in her apartment about to order some pizza. You know, the usual. Then this guy just casually walks through her living room wall and punched her so hard that if she was pregnant, she would have got a free abortion right there. This is Nemesis, aka Matthew. It sounds like something you name an overweight band kid. I'll never understand why Capcom makes the most menacing villains and then sticks them with the most mundane name ever. Just look at their lineup of villains. They got Albert, William, and Matthew? They sound like a high school chess club, not bioengineered killing machines. Anyways, Jill and Nemesis play a round of extreme tag through her apartment complex, but Jill escapes after Nemesis gets trapped in the burning building. Surely he's not getting out of that. We meet up with Brad and I'm hyped. He's got the stars vest. You already know he's gonna do some OP shit. Just look at the other stars. You got Chris punching boulders, Wesker dodging rockets, so I can't wait to see what Brad brings to the So much for that. Nemesis comes back for round 2, and I know in previous videos I've encouraged lying to women, alcoholism, thievery, drunk driving, hit and runs, degeneracy as a whole really, but driving without a seatbelt is where I cross the line. Remember, if you're gonna be reckless, do it safely. Carlos saves us by blowing Nemesis the fuck up, and surely he's not getting back up from that. Carlos takes us back to his group who are trying to fix a radio tower. So instead of sending any of the other highly trained mercenaries packing M4s, they send the cop with a pistol, after an oddly sexual encounter with some tentacles. Nemesis comes back, this time for an actual chase, none of that scripted stuff from before. And the best way to describe being chased by Nemesis is that he's like an abusive boyfriend. He'll slap you around for a bit, then if anybody else tries to touch you, he'll get defensive and slide tackle them. And once you're alone again, he'll go back to beating the hell out of you. We escape by hanging out in the sewers, Annette Birkin style. If you don't understand that joke, watch my last video, link in the description. Nemesis yanks Jill out of the sewer for round 4, only this time he's got a flamethrower. Doesn't matter because it backfires and burns him alive. Surely he's not getting back up from that. Never mind, bro just jumps off a 30-story building, finding a rocket launcher on the way down somehow. Carlos saves us by blowing him up again, and surely... I'm gonna stop with that joke. I'm barely halfway through the game and he's already come back way too many times. Jill boards the train to get out of Raccoon City, and Carlos pulls up to the RPD just in time to see Marvin getting infected. RIP Marvin, gone too soon. I still haven't forgotten what Claire did to you last game. Carlos and Tyrell explore the RPD, but get interrupted by a call from Jill. So yeah, remember that train that was full of survivors and the rest of Carlos' crew? Yeah, Nemesis got on and left the place looking like the ending of Final Destination 3. Just bodies and fire everywhere. The only reason Jill made it out is because she's just built different. She's a STARS member. That accident would have given anybody else severe head trauma, but Jill just walks it off. Nemesis makes it out too, of course, and he jumps into the water. Unfortunately for Jill, this whole time, Nemesis wasn't a zombie, but a Pokemon. And he evolves into this dog creature thing, and actually manages to infect Jill. It only took him 7 tries. Carlos just magically knows where to find Jill, and he picks her up and takes her to the hospital to cure her with his sketchy-ass needle. Jill wakes up and Tyrell tells her that they need to get the hell out of the city because the government's about to nuke this bitch. They escape through an underground umbrella lab that's conveniently under the hospital. Well, Jill does anyway. Tyrell doesn't get so lucky. But soon after, we get a boss fight to avenge my boy. And now that Nemesis literally drowned in acid, he comes back one more time. But this time he evolves into his final form, a giant flesh monster. No problem though, because Jill just rails him a few times and finally, I can say for sure, he's not getting back up anymore. They stopped the crazy Russian who was like a villain, I guess. The man just spent the last half of the game running away every time he saw you, so make of that what you will. The game ends with Jill and Carlos watching atomic fireworks as they fly to safety. So looking at this game isolated from the rest of the series, the Resident Evil 3 remake isn't bad by any means. Yeah, it's kinda short, but it's enjoyable. The issue comes when you learn Capcom cut half the original story and made literally no side content, and then you quickly see why this is considered the black sheep of all the current Resident Evil remakes. I still recommend the game if you want a short distraction, but either play the original or wait for this one to go on sale. Don't do what I did and spend $40 for 5 hours worth of content. Well, that's all I got for this one. Subscribe, or not. Either way, I'ma head out. Later.